visionary, revolutionary. I'm a visionary, revolutionary.
Thank you everyone for tuning in into another episode of the DMB podcast. I'm your host, Camilo Solomon, and I'm here with my stupendous co-host, KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit.
How you doing today, KB? I'm gonna take a page out of your book. How you doing?
Hey man, I'm a little sore. You know, work kicked my ass today, but it's always good to be here with my McMarvelous co-host, Camilo Salamander, to talk about WWE, AEW, and just the wrestling weekend in general, in a whole. But we're on our way to the most stupendous WrestleMania of all time. I'm very excited about this WrestleMania. I cannot wait. I wish it was going on tonight.
Monday Night Raw. Let's go ahead and get the elephant out the room. Seth Rollins, he spent the majority of the show trying to search his way to get onto the WrestleMania card. This included interrupting the tag team match between the Mysterios and the Dirty Dogs, as well as interrupting AJ Styles' promo that was directed towards Edge. Seth Rollins, he suggested that Styles would sit out during Mania and allow him to face Edge instead. Now, duo between Edge and Rollins, they have a 3 McMarvelous premium live event matches against each other, which I wouldn't mind seeing. Well, we already seen that Mania before, so I wouldn't mind seeing it again at Mania, to be honest. But obviously, Styles, he refused to let go of his position. So WWE officials, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, announced that Rollins and Styles will meet later on tonight at the main event, and the winner will face Edge at WrestleMania. Some other stuff happened on Raw, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, his music hit. That was the opening of the show. Now everybody was hyped. Everybody was hyped when you heard that glass break. But the thing that got you down when you notice something like Stone Cold got a beard, then you realize this ain't Stone Cold, this is Kevin Owens. So he went all out. He had a knee brace and all. So I give it to him there. But what do you feel about this segment that happened? I'm giving it a thumbs up. I think it was a good opener, a great way to troll the audience out there. You see that there was hype when the glass broke, and a way to go out. He stunned a ring member, just some shit that Stone Cold would do. What do you feel about this segment?
Salamander, I'm gonna have to go back deep into the archives when we were just reviewing it show by show and not during the week, or not reviewing the entire week. I'm gonna give this segment 2 thumbs up, and I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up on the production side from WWE. My goodness, that camera angle where you saw the entire stadium, it was McMarvelous. Stone Cold's music hits. The crowd stands up. The guy on the phone saying, "Oh my God, it's Steve Austin." And what I love about what I loved about this, well, normally WWE, they'll go straight to it, but they let it sit. Mm-hmm. They didn't immediately go to the ring or to the entrance ramp. They let it sit. You continue to see the crowd. Then who is it other than this son of a bitch, Kevin Owens? Mm-hmm. Bald cap, still got the beard. He's Stone Cold down. He goes in, he does it. I thought everything about this was thumbs up until we got to the promo. Mm-hmm. My only problem with the promo is that I wish they wouldn't have had Kevin Owens cut it like he was Stone Cold. I think he should have just went full-fledged Kevin Owens. After coming, because you trolled him twice, so why would you have him do the Stone Cold promo first? Have him talk like have him cut the promo as Kevin Owens.
When I saw this, I thought about the time where Rated RKO got together, Edge and Randy Orton got together for the first time, and then that next week they had came out as DX, and they had act like DX the whole time until of course DX came in the ring. So I didn't mind this, even him cutting the promo as Stone Cold, because it reminded me of that. And if you're gonna go all the way out and dress up as him, why not? It's like you demolishing his character type shit too. So it's like a thing Stone Cold to take disrespect to. So when they do have this matchup, hopefully this will circle back around.
Fair enough, and I see what you mean. Like by that, Kevin Owens is such a good promo. I think he could have just eviscerated Stone Cold more.
I can see what you mean by that.
But I did want to touch on the Seth Rollins thing. I like what they've been doing, but they've done it all wrong. It's just like when the Alpha Academy won the Raw Tag Team titles. You did it too early. Like, he should have been commandeering I don't even think he should have been commandeering shows. Like, I like what he did with AJ. He shouldn't have done none of the interruptions until you got to the AJ part. Mm-hmm. Boom. Now on the Go Home show, he can sabotage the whole show. He can take it over until he gets his moment.
I just thought about something while you was talking, right? Mm-hmm. What if he do commentate, be a commentator on the show, right? And throughout the whole show, you know, you have Michael Cole and but not Michael Cole, but you have Corey Graves talking to Seth and just talking about how hyping him up, basically agreeing with Seth that he should be on this WrestleMania card. It's not gonna be a stupendous weekend without us seeing Seth Rollins and shit like that, right? And then like just the whole, they talk about the match, you know, that you still get your play-by-play, all that, but you just got Seth Rollins on commentary. He's just talking, basically stating, like, people who's wrestling throughout the show, who has a match on WrestleMania, he just talking like, man, I could do better than this, like all that shit, right? And then when they get to the point where AJ Styles cutting his promo, you hear Seth Rollins talking, and he like, you know what? I got an idea. Give me a moment. And then you hear him take it off the mic. Then he interrupt him, and that stuff still plays off the way it do.
I mean, I like it, but let me ask you a quick question. Did I say commentate on the show?
Yeah.
My bad. I meant commandeer. Like, commandeer, to take over, take hostage. I would want him to do that. Though that's a good idea, though, to have him on commentary the entire night.
That can happen up until the AJ Styles promo where he interrupts, and then it set up their match for the main event. So now after that point, he's not on commentary and shit. And then, you know, what happened, well, you know, with the results that happened at the main event, that will lead into the next week's show, the Go Home show, where he will actually take over and demand his match. And, you know, we kind of get that, yes, you are on a match card, but you will not know who your opponent is. Like, it's a mystery opponent type shit. Do some shit like that.
I like that. Like that a lot.
Moving on to the next, we got the Mysterios versus the Dirty Dolls. Dominic Mysterio had hit Bobby Roode with a frog splash. Now after the match, The Miz attacked Rey Mysterio and took his mask. Now this feud, I wasn't into it now, but now I'm kind of like, you disrespected Rey by taking his mask off. So now, you know, I'm looking forward to this match. I'm more looking forward to Logan Paul getting the 619. I think it's gonna be a double.
So my only problem with this, well, with the feud in general, is it's not hot enough. And when you do a mask spot, you would think like you would only do that spot if it's a hated feud. Like when Eddie turned heel and took the mask off of Rey, you kind of felt where Eddie was coming from.
That was more personal, but this is like, you know, The Miz is just disrespectful. What more disrespectful can you get than take his mask? And then this should have been on the Go Home show, and then on WrestleMania during his entrance, you got Miz coming out with the mask and got him putting it on and shit, like basically being an asshole with it and all that. I would like that.
But see, I think The Miz is more cowardly. Like, I would expect MJF to take the mask off of Rey, because that's just who MJF is. But The Miz is just cowardly, and I wouldn't expect that from The Miz. So it kind of raised my eyebrow, but not in a good way.
Moving on to the next segment, we got Omos. He defeated Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews via pinfall in a handicap match. Now, he had hit Apollo Crews with a choke bomb and pinned both men simultaneously. Omos is looking strong. He finally faced somebody who's actually on the roster who's not a jobber. I will say that. And I was wondering when WWE was actually gonna book him against some talent to actually make us feel like, is he ready yet? Now I still think he's still kind of green, but I mean, so far for what I saw in this match, I say it was good.
You heard the rumors.
Yes, we're gonna get into that later on.
Does
Podcast.
Does Omos win or lose?
I'm gonna say my opinion later on.
All right.
I'm gonna save it.
This match was god awful though, and Apollo Crews is a jobber.
Yeah, I think it was good on Omar's side, but looking in at his opponent, it's good on Omar's side because of his opponents. You know, Apollo Crews, a former Intercontinental Champion, so forth and so forth. And Commander Aziz is someone who's like, you know, size wise, you know, that can stand up with Omar's. So him defeating both of them make him look good. Now, them two getting defeated by Omar's don't make them look good, but it make Omar's look good, if that makes sense.
I mean, it does, but they're still jobbers. He's beat jobbers.
Yeah. I think the push with Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews, when they first turned his character heel and they had put Commander with him, I really think they should have just had him be his muscle. If you're gonna pair somebody up with that person, like I think they be fucking it up too soon by having them team up with each other, then eventually be a tag team and shit. Like, no, you are the muscle and shit like that. We don't know you. You feel me? So we supposed to be getting this fear from you when it's like, I know why you fuck with Apollo because, you know, his muscle is right there. You know, he gonna handle all that work and stuff for him. So even with Omos with AJ, they did that totally wrong. Like, if you gon', I don't know, I feel like if you gonna have somebody with you, that person either need to be your mouthpiece or your muscle. He can't be your muscle for a couple weeks, then be your tag team partner, and now y'all both just going out jobbing and shit like that. It just take away from the whole build up and everything that was put into this before.
You know what the real problem is? They're on the main roster. Throw them down there in NXT, boom.
It could have worked. I just think they just went about the wrong ways of booking.
I think once Apollo Crews dropped the Intercontinental Championship, he should have just went to NXT. They should have just stuck him on NXT, get him off of the main roster TV, put him down there in NXT. He could run that NXT mid card. You could then be teaching Commander Aziz on the fly.
But if they wanted to do a tag, I would say that had them team up. Then I would say move them to NXT, and they could have went there and ran through the tag team division for real. But I will tell you, my first shit of the night is Natalya and Shayna Baszler. They defeated Liv for Brutality. Now Baszler, she had pinned Morgan after heart attack. I guess that's Natalya's new finisher. After the match, the women tag team champions, the Queen Zelina and Carmella, had attacked both teams, getting back on the same page after they had brawled backstage earlier in the night. I don't like this. It's the same shit that they always do week after week. You know, let's sum up all of our women into one program and call it a day. They could have split that. Y'all didn't have to really have, you know, the Queen, you know, the women tag team champions interfere, do that in the match after you already put them in the segment earlier that night and all that. I don't know. I just think they could be more creative with a 3-hour show with this. You got this, like, cause your only women matches for real is the women's tag team championship match and the Raw women's tag team and the Raw women's championship match, right? And it's like boom, this match happened. All right, all the women that's on Raw, let's go ahead and get them into the segment. All right, backstage fight. All right, boom. Now the match is here. Now y'all go ahead and attack. All right, boom. Now we go do the promo with Becky Lynch. Bianca Belair is gonna be involved into that promo. All right, now we done with the women. Now we can get finished with the show. That's how I feel like that's how it is. It gets summed up too much, and there has been a lot of heat with WWE because all the women matches that are booked for WrestleMania are championship matches, while there is not matches that's a singles or tag women match that's not no title. You feel me? Like, that shows you that WWE women roster is really thin. Either that or they are not booking them correctly, because like I've been saying in the past episodes, you could, meanwhile while you're telling this story here, you could be building up another talent and stuff, or instead of not just having them not on the show at all. Like Xia Li, she appeared, now she not on the show no more, she's missing now. Like everything else, like, y'all could have been returned. Oscar could have had her in a little program and all that stuff that she ain't even in the title picture, but that way she got a match on WrestleMania and shit like that. It's now that y'all break up WrestleMania into two nights, there should be no reason why yo big stars ain't got no show, ain't got no match. There should be no reason why y'all only got 3 women matches on the card, and all 3 women matches are title matches. Where is the singles women's match? Like, I agree with this. Why do Omos have a singles match and a women don't? Why all they matches that's on the card is title matches? It's like it don't matter. It's like it seemed like WWE is saying y'all don't matter unless it's a title on the line. That's what it seems like. That's what I'm getting from it.
I mean, in WWE's defense, the roster is thin. My thing is this.
In their defense and at fault.
I mean, they're at fault, but let me ask you this. AEW rarely puts on women's matches unless they're for the championship. At the last pay-per-view, we got Chris Statlander versus Layla Hirsch. It started the buy-in. It wasn't that good. Sometimes a championship just elevates. Now, what I will say is I do agree with the one part that you said about WWE lumping all the women together. But the thing is, they can't tell stories with the women outside of them calling each other bitches.
That's true.
So I don't know what more you want. I mean, I'm just happy at the fact that we're getting 3.
I will say this before we move on to the next segment. About AEW, what you had said, even though they only book title matches at they pay-per-views with women's, they give us more women matches throughout the week than we get on WWE television. And they get more time when they wrestling too. So I would say that's a good payoff and stuff, you know, like if we get the good amount of time, when women get the good amount of time on TV that they do on AEW, I don't mind on the pay-per-view if it's only 2 women matches because it's for the title. Because Wednesday, Friday, and then on Dark and Elevation, we get a lot of women matches in between those. So I don't mind that. Or meanwhile on WWE, Raw's a 3-hour show. We get 2 women segments that has a total time of 10 minutes, 15 minutes max out of a 3-hour show. On SmackDown, it's a 2-hour show, really an hour 45, and they sum up all of their women matches in one program, for real. Meanwhile, on AEW, you know, it's separate. We get like 3 women matches on Dynamite or whatever. They get some time. Rampage, we get a match that gets some time. And then on Dark and Elevation, we get matches of women. So I don't mind that. But we can go ahead and move on to the next segment. Becky Lynch will cut a promo. And in this promo, she will say that Bianca Belair is not willing to quote-unquote sell her soul in the same way that she is to be on the top of the game, and she will prove that once again at WrestleMania. This promo, me, like, I agree with you. You said this before. You seen one Becky Lynch promo, you seen them all. It's pretty much it was good for what it was, for what it can be.
I love this promo. And after she cut this promo, I feel like she's got to win. Because she said it herself. She sold her soul to get this, to hold this. What better way to tell it than a returning Bianca? All the momentum. And Becky Lynch cheats to win and screws Bianca. And that's when Bianca snaps. It's like she'll be mad because she can never be Becky, but in the back of her mind, she knows Becky always cheats. So then you could get like a last woman standing match out of it.
I'll pretty much prefer Hell in a Cell.
Or you could do that.
That she cheats. That way she ain't no way for her to cheat her way out of that.
You could do that. But I just felt like because like I do agree, and I have said it. If you've seen a Becky Lynch promo, you've seen them all. But it was just the tone in which she cut it. You could tell she's really, or at least kayfabe why she's really had to do this. She really had to sell her soul. I mean, you got to think on this journey, she's lost friends. They whole exposed the Charlotte and Becky Lynch. She had to give it up for childbirth. Gained it back, but destroyed a young up and comer to do it.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to win.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but nah, she ain't. I don't think WWE gonna screw over Bianca Belair twice like that.
I mean, would it really be screwing her over? She got her WrestleMania moment last year.
But I mean, I don't know, because I don't think her run was proper. Like, I don't think WWE was actually done with her run. They just seen that Becky Lynch was ready, and they seen that, all right, so now's the time. Like I keep saying, they panicked with the return of CM Punk in ring and all that stuff. So I really think WWE made the move because of that. So I really think they had more in plan for Bianca, but that happened. So they was like, to scrap it. Now it's the time to go ahead, put the belt back on her, and continue the plans that y'all had for her.
Salamander, she had one of the greatest WrestleMania moments ever, up there with the Undertaker matches, up there with the fantastic moments at WrestleMania. She had it. She main evented and won the SmackDown Women's Championship from Sasha Banks and the first all-black women's main event. She had her moment.
I mean, we gonna see, because next week we are gonna make our final predictions and everything will be locked in. So we gonna see who's right and who's wrong.
I'm determined that even if I lose night 1, I'll smoke you night 2 and we'll walk out with a tie.
I don't think so. I think I got you on this one. I've been second guessing myself, and every time I second guess myself, I end up losing. I'm not second guessing myself this time. I'm rolling with the obvious. Nah, I'm not rolling with the obvious. I'm rolling with my heart. Whatever name I say first, I'm gonna roll with. I'm locking it in. I'm gonna lock it in. All
right. Listen, I'm so confident that I might make some outlandish picks for night 1, and if it turns out bad, I'm gonna smoke you night 2, and it's gonna walk out a tie. And you'll be forced to acknowledge that I'm still champion.
We'll see, though. We'll see. Moving on to the next match, we got Finn Balor. He defeated Austin Theory via pinfall with a roll-up. The most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. The finish came after Pat McAfee had repeatedly distracted Austin Theory throughout the match. Now, I will say this is cool. This match was really, Finn Balor, he don't have a match on Mania, but that's a real upset. But this was just used just to, further play Austin Theory and Pat McAfee match at Mania.
Yeah, it did his job. I can't wait for Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. Is that night 1 or night 2?
I believe it's night 1 or night 2. Oh, I don't know. I do have the card that's supposed to tell us the lineup for each night. So we'll get into the news.
Gotcha.
But moving on to the next one, we got RK Bro. They defeated Alpha Academy via pinfall. Riddle, he had hit Chad Gable with the Bro Derek, and after the match, Otis had took out both members of RK Bro. Before the Street Profits that ran in and took out both members of Alpha Academy. However, the duo had turned on Riddle, taking him out as Randy was still down outside the ring. So, Street Profits was standing tall. Now, I was on Montez Ford Instagram earlier, and I seen that he has posted a picture, I think last week, and when you had said like they are more serious, and I'm not sure if they turned heel already. If you account, if you could turn heel on social media, according to WWE, I don't know, or if you have to turn heel on screen, I don't know. But Montez Ford had posted a picture of the Street Profits, and the caption was, "We not fucking around no more."
Did he actually say the F word?
I mean, he said F you, and then the rest was like, blocked off. But you understood what he was saying.
Nah, they're still faces. They're just acting a little heelish because they think they're heels.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull up and tell you exactly what he said. The only word he bleeped out, the only letter he bleeped out was a U, but everything else is there.
They're turning heel, which means they're probably gonna win at Mania.
I think so.
This might be the next big heel group to run the Raw Tag Team division. And if I'm being honest, I wouldn't take this belt off the Street Profits for probably about a year. You can just keep throwing faces at them. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whoever you need to throw at them, you can throw at them because they'll make anything work as heels.
Okay. Did they get Booker T though to be their manager?
I think Vince McMahon should definitely look at Booker T, but I think we can go a little bit further than that. MVP, Booker T get together. This is your new Hurt Business.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, a well respect. Yeah, because I got it. Okay, so I got a little theory, right? You know how Bobby Lashley basically kicked Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander out of the Hurt Business, right? But now they still using the name, right? So Bobby's out, but I think when he's making his return, that's gonna be like the next feud, right? Where I don't think it's really gonna be feuded, but it's really gonna be Bobby telling him like, bro, stop using the name. And then MVP gonna take it a step farther and then basically hit them with a cease and desist of using the Hurt Business name. And then it's gonna lead into a feud, right? But the feud is gonna be MVP and Bobby introducing the new Hurt Business. And it's gonna be the Street Profit.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. And Booker T can handle the tag team. MVP handles the singles division, and you got an awesome team for 6-man tag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Book it, WWE. Book it. Align Booker T in the Hurt Business with MVP and Bobby Lashley. This is your new Hurt Business. Can you imagine this Hurt Business versus the Bloodline?
Man, that would have to be at Survivor Series. That's a matchup I would love to see. That have to be main event.
That would have to be the main event, and both groups will have to have all the gold of their respective show.
But who go off at top? That's a hard question right there. I would have it to the point where one person, it'd be the tags left. One person representing each tag team left. For real. I would have that. Like, it would either be Jimmy or Jay. Ooh, what about this? The last two. Jimmy is main event Uso, right? He's the last one standing on the bloodline. And against Angelo Dawkins, right? Main event Uso only pick up the win from debuting Solo Sikoa.
The third Uso
align himself with his bloodline.
Is this the guy who we send after Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship, and the bloodline literally has all the gold?
I would say that, but I would honestly love to see a main event Uso solo run in the mid-card division. I would honestly love to see that.
You can't break up the Usos,
but it's still Uso.
But it's not
It's not really breaking up. It's like, all right, we the champions. How the New Day was. Like Kofi and Big E had the belts. Xavier Woods could fill in. It's a team. So boom, we already champions. I'm about to go after this Intercontinental Championship. So here you go. You know, we gonna need you to fill my spot. But that's why the tag team division is refreshed. So the tag team belts is on the Usos, but it's not the same pairing. not the same duo. So it's kind of refreshed. So if even if they do go back on a dominant run of the next year holding the titles, you know, or if they lose the titles at Mania, they could tell that story of them gaining the titles with this new Uso in there. That way, when they do gain the title, it's refreshed. It don't feel like, damn, they putting the titles on the Usos again for the 8th time. Because it's new, it's a new duo of them.
Okay.
It is believable because it's an actual brother. Ain't like y'all just put some old Joe there and talk about he a Uso. Like, it's an actual Uso.
Nah, you right.
Yeah. But moving on to the main event, we got AJ Styles. He defeated Seth Rollins via disqualification. Now, an interference from Edge happened after the expected solid match between the two. Now, before Edge interfered, this match was very, very, very solid. Edge, he would run ringside and hit AJ Styles in the back with a chair, and this resulted into a disqualification match. So this had made Rollins' opportunity at making WrestleMania gone away. Rollins, he had grabbed a microphone after the match and announced that next week Raw would not be happening unless he get a match at WrestleMania. Rollins, he had destroyed the ringside area before the show went off the air. Now, could he hijack the show next week? That's the big question. We've been saying that, but the question is, do he really go on with it?
I think he does, but you know what would have been better, because that's such a predictable ending. You could have stretched this Seth Rollins and AJ Styles thing out till the go home show, and you could have had Edge hit Seth Rollins. He looks at AJ and he creeps over to Seth, and AJ's literally watching his WrestleMania opportunity fade away. Then he hits Seth just to prove a point to AJ, like, you were never worthy of facing me at WrestleMania.
That is good, but what about this, right? They announced how everything happened on this show the way it did, except for the main event. The main event is the tag team match, and we go off the air with Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce announced that the Seth Rollins and AJ Styles match will take place next week Raw, the go home show, as the main event, right?
Right.
So this week, Raw went off the air with the not the Usos, but with the Street Profits doing what they did, right? Standing tall in the ring. That's how they go off the air. Next week, we get the same match at the main event. What happened this week, we get that same match in the same way. But instead of Seth throwing a fit and tearing up everything ringside, he's in the ring crying. Not really crying, but we just see him as all-time low. Like, this was his last moment to gain it. And then it could either go off like that, if him in the ring, like, you remember when Roman Reigns had lost? I think when Seth Rollins had got the belt when he cashed in at Mania, it was like Roman was on his back. It looked like he was kind of crying a little bit, like something like that. Like Seth Rollins, they Raw go off the air like that, focus him in the ring like that. And then after Raw, you know, sometimes they do like a promo after Raw or whatever. When Raw go off the air, you could have him cut a promo and basically saying like he gonna find his way there, and you know, we just wait to see on Saturday. But it's gonna lead up into Sunday on night 2, where he will ultimately face Cody Rhodes.
I like that.
Yeah. That really leaves it up in the air, like his last moment. He came up short, but it wasn't due to him. It was because Edge was like, you know, like you said, take that. Like, you know, you wasn't worthy enough to face me. You know, like we had 3 battles. I came off at the top, at least the majority of them. You know, it set his attention that he want AJ.
I like that. What are you giving Raw? I'm gonna give Raw 6. Very solid.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7. But moving on to the next show, we got NXT 2.0. To kick off the show, we got Solo Sikoa versus Roger Strong. Now, Solo, he had punched his ticket into NXT, standing delivered following a hard-hitting match brawl between Roger Strong to open up NXT 2.0. This was a solid opener. I really enjoyed this opener. It really made me look at this other Uso in a different light. He's very solid in the ring. I will say that.
Solo Sikoa is a good hand to have.
I think he's main event ready.
You think he's main roster ready?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I want to see him win the NXT North American Championship first. Like, he doesn't have to win the NXT Championship, but I want to at least see him with that mid card because he can go in the ring, and I guarantee you he'll put on some fantastic title defenses.
Okay. Following this, we got Tony D'Angelo versus Dexter Lumis.
Tony D'Angelo.
Now this was Dexter Lumis' first match in over 2 months. Now he was looking to put an end to this match, and D'Angelo had crawled over to the corner to retrieve his trusty crowbar. Indy Hartwell had folded his plans by grabbing a weapon before he could reach it. As Hartwell, Perza, and D'Angelo entangled into a tug of war over the crowbar, Perza would let go of it, resulting in Tony D'Angelo accidentally knocking out Lumis, as the referee avoided it all. D'Angelo would capitalize on the circumstances by hitting the swinging slam to cover Lumis for the 1-2-3 pin.
Salamander, I know I told you that sometimes I just don't be getting what WWE be doing, and I even said that about Tony D'Angelo on multiple occasions, but I get it. He's just that fucking good. It's Tony D'Angelo. He's just that fucking good. When I tell you I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania weekend, the NXT card is part of that, and it's playing a nice part because I'm very excited about Tony D'Angelo and Tommaso Ciampa, Braun Breaker, Dolph Ziggler, the NXT Championship match with the Creed brothers and Imperium. Like, there's a lot to look forward to on this NXT card.
What's your favorite match that you're looking forward to?
Honestly, I'm gonna say the NXT Fatal 4-Way match for the Women's Championship. I don't see Mandy Rose walking out of this one.
You don't think she's gonna escape with the win?
No, I think they're gonna go. Kaylee Ray.
Okay, she gonna hold both.
She will. She does. She's not holding a belt at the moment.
Oh, she's not the North America, but UK Women's Champion no more.
Nah, she dropped that when she came over.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next, we got Elektra Lopez defeating Fallon Holland in a match. What do you think about that matchup?
It wasn't good.
It wasn't.
No, Elektra Lopez, she's still a little green, so, but I like the fact that they're throwing them out there because you got to learn how to work the cameras, you got to learn how to do all of this stuff before you hit the main roster. So, you know, sometimes you got to crawl before you walk, sink or swim.
Right.
I like it that they do that. I've always appreciated WWE for that because they want you to know that you got to put in the work. We can only do so much.
Right. Moving on, we got the match that I believe should have been the main event. We got Braun Breaker defeating Robert Roode. This was solid. This was the match of the night for me. What do you think about this matchup?
Braun Breaker's Braun Breaker. He's main roster ready. He doesn't need to beat Dolph Ziggler at NXT Stand and Deliver.
Like, he's gonna lose and move on. I bet you.
Yeah, like he can take the L and then move on, and we could be setting up your next person on NXT to dethrone Dolph Ziggler.
This would probably be Solo Sikoa.
I don't think so.
Moving on, we got Grayson Waller defeated A-Kid.
First off, I love Grayson Waller. He will be my CAW. Sleeve, shorts, long socks, athletic gear, and he can go on the ring. Grayson Waller is that guy. I keep telling you, that finisher, that leaping stunner, but it's from the outside. He leaps into the ring from the outside and it hits a stunner. That move's gonna get over on the main roster. He's gonna be a babyface. He's gonna win his first mid-card title, and he'll probably will never use it until it's time for him to win championship gold.
That should be a move that he break out when he needed.
Yes.
That should be like a well protected move nobody ever kicked out of. But it's a move that he don't do every match. He always uses alternative finisher, and then when it's like a tough opponent, like defeating like a Ricochet for the title, he'll hit that. Defending his title, he'll hit it. Not all the time, like it may be somebody he know he can beat, he don't hit it. But then when he get that worthy challenger, that's when he'll break the move out.
Like, I love the Panama Sunrise. I wish that was Adam Cole's finish. I mean, the boom is cool, the last shot is cool, but it's just something about how the Panama Sunrise looks.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just all the theatrics.
I like a sunset flip if it's done proper.
I mean, as long as you ain't doing it like how they be having motherfuckers do it now. Seth Rollins missed a whole year because of that shit.
John Cena, the way he executed, probably because he's so big, it looked good. Like, it looked like it's devastating. Well, it's probably because his size.
Yes.
But moving on to the next match, we got the Creed brothers. They defeated GYV. What do you think about this matchup? I do agree with you. I do think the Creed brothers, they got something there. I watched this match and I actually watched NXT for the first time in a while. And I was like, okay, now I see what KB was talking about with the Creed brothers. They have something there. I don't know what it is yet, but I can tell it's something. It's something there.
It's because they're unlike any tag team on the main roster. If I can dig deep into your love of the Ruthless Aggression era, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like they kind of give off vibes of the world's greatest tag team.
I think they still got a long way to be compared to them.
No, I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying those are the vibes I get. Like when I saw Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, they just gave off a different vibe than the tag teams that was on the roster. And that's a good thing sometimes.
That's a strong comparison though. But
I mean,
it's a strong comparison to compare like the vibe. Like most people, I can say agree with we say this. Warlord turning face was kind of giving us the Batista shit. They understood that, but this one on the other hand, I feel like it's a stretch.
I mean, they don't have the full package, but you see it. Like you said, there's something there. I've been preaching about the Creed brothers forever. I've been telling you, Brett, watch the Creed brothers. Watch the Creed brothers.
I say the Creed brothers is like Paul London and Brian Kendrick in 06.
They don't even high fly.
I know, I'm just playing. I'm just fucking with y'all. Moving on to the next match, we got Gunther. He defeated Duke Hudson. Now during this match, I know we say that even though he came over to NXT and they had changed his name, he kind of looked like they washed him down a little bit. But this match kind of showed some perks of him. Like Walter came out a little bit, especially when he was tugging at his nose and everything. I'm like, yeah, that's the guy I want to see. I need to see more aggressiveness like that, like more fearful stuff like you doing in the ring that every other wrestler don't do. That that was the thing that made Walter the fact that he did shit in the ring that the most average big man didn't do. So it built that fear to him. And that's what they need to do with this character. They need to bring on that aggressiveness.
I mean, the choppers don't even sound the same. Remember in Triple H's NXT, when you heard a Walter chop, you heard a Walter chop. It echoed. I mean, Walter could have just brought that to the main roster and got himself over.
Mm-hmm.
People love a good chop. I mean, people still jump crazy if they see Big Show or Paul White and he goes, shh. And then you hear an echo.
Woo.
Yeah, like Walter could have brought that to the main roster. But those chops don't sound the same. This isn't the Walter who was putting on classics with Ciampa, with Dragunov, Butch.
Yeah.
That's not the same guy. He just, to me, like I said, like I've been saying, he just looks like a regular WWE superstar now. Like you said, Walter, when I would watch a Walter match, if I knew Walter was on the card, I knew somebody was gonna get their ass beat.
Right.
And you were gonna see the effects of the Walter match. I mean, look at just the matches he had with Dragunov. Dragunov didn't even walk away from the first one. Like, Walter beat his ass, but Dragunov beat his ass too. And for real, Walter's selling is underrated. I think he sells really good for a big man.
Most definitely. Moving on to the main event, we got Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray defeated Dakota Kai and Wendy Chu in the Women's Dusty Classic Finals. This was a solid tag team match, but I do think this was just solid. I'm gonna give the show NXT a 6. I just think they ran with the wrong main event. I believe the Brown Breaker and Robert Roode match should have been the main event.
Solid tag match. Only thing I hate about it is the fact that once again we're destroying what Triple H built, because when you win the Women's Dusty, you get a shot at the the NXT Tag Team Championships. Well, Kaylee Ray and Io Shirai said we're going to cash it in, but we're going to make we're going to make Mandy Rose's NXT Championship match a fatal 4-way. Like, we can't keep altering the rules. Just like Carmelo Hayes with the contract, that's to give him an NXT Championship match. Well, he wants to use it on the North American Championship. Make that believable.
Right.
That's just like the Money in the Bank winner saying, I'm gonna cash in for the Intercontinental Championship.
Hey, I think that's different though. If they do that, that will bring a different twist. It will make people feel like when Money in the Bank season is here, it will make every champion feel like, alright, I'm not off limits. Once for that one person who changed up the game and cashed in for the mid-card title, because everybody who win Money in the Bank, then the champion is on edge, whatever show that person is on. But once they do that shit, it will make everybody on edge, because like, damn, I can get cashed on too. I think it will build a proper spark into WWE that we need.
Why don't they just make a mid-card Money in the Bank?
That's too many Money in the Banks. But what else to switch it up? Like, even with the WrestleMania winner, not WrestleMania winner, but Royal Rumble winner, it says you get a main event title match at WrestleMania. It don't say what title. You can set your eyes at anything. But I just think the moment they switch it up, it will bring the intensity. It will build the prestige of the title too, because it's the fact that you wanted Money in the Bank and you wanted the Intercontinental. Shit like that. It just depends on who win it and their intentions and the build up to it and their explanation why they chose this belt over anything else.
Makes sense. That better be a damn good explanation.
Like, if the Miz win and he choose to cash in on the Intercontinental, and his explanation is because he's the best Intercontinental champion ever that WWE had ever saw, and everybody who touched his belt don't give it the proper dues that he gave it. That could be a good explanation for him.
Nah, you right. I like it. NXT 7, solid show.
7,
right. Solid show.
Now we're moving on to the next show.
I got you, bro.
Go ahead.
It's Wednesday night.
So you know
what that means.
There you go. AEW Dynamite. Now, CM Punk had returned to television for the first time since his violent, bloody dog collar match against MJF at Revolution. He was squared off with one half of FTR and the AAA Tag Team Champions, Dex Harwood. Now, this match was great. It was fucking great. It's old school wrestling. The match was favored psychologically, and ring immaculate. It's fucking phenomenal. Two students of the game showing everybody how you fucking put on the fucking match. Simple like that. CM Punk, he will come up with the win by hitting the Anaconda Vice for the tap out victory. I mean, what else can you say about this? This match was fucking good.
This match was fucking marvelous. Oh my goodness. Did you see Dax Harwood locking that sharpshooter?
Yes. Very technical match.
Hold on, did you hear them reference it? Not as the Scorpion Deathlock, but as the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Bret Hart's on his way. Bret Hart is on his way. My
Well,
goodness.
It's kind of being reported that Bret Hart is clueless about his return. Like, he had no idea. Unless he's just working this.
Of course he's working this. Why wouldn't you? You gotta build this up. I mean, we say it every time we do this podcast. WWE fans would not appreciate this type of match.
That is true. I can't deny that. I cannot deny that.
I mean, I just don't see how people don't like AEW. If you like old school wrestling, you get shit like this. You like the flips, you get the bucks. You want hard hitting? Everybody hits hard on this show. It gives you everything you want. And I can't wait to talk about Brother Nero. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. And great segue. The 8-man tornado tag team match. We got Sting, Darby Allin, and the Hardys versus Private Party, the Butcher, and the Blade.
Fucking Mac Marvelous.
Man. Now, man, it just took the words out of my mouth. That just show you how good this match was. I'm glad to see Jeff is back. This match had big bumps. Some cheating with Andrade El Idolo. But, you know, the baby faces won. That's the most important thing. Big bumps, I would say. Big bumps. But it's glad to see Jeff Hardy is in a comfortable state where he can do these McMarvelous stunts.
I think Jeff Hardy being with Darby Allin, I think that has reinvigorated him.
I think Darby Allin is going to after this partnership, Darby Allin he's going to capitalize from this. He's learning a lot from Jeff. And we think Darby Allin is a daredevil now. Just wait till he learn more from the Daredevil King himself.
I mean, Butcher threw Darby down a flight of stairs. Concrete stairs. And I just thought, okay, bet. Then I see this 20-foot fucking ladder. And I'm looking at the placement of the ladder and I'm like, oh God, Jeff Hardy's about to jump off. No, let me just go to the little crease where the window is. And I'm sitting here thinking, don't kill yourself. Please don't kill yourself. And he hit the Swanton bomb. And I said, oh, he's dead. He's dead. And the crowd, I mean, let me ask you, would you rather be in the stands or back where all the fans were in the concourse?
It seemed like with matches like this, it seemed like deep into the crowd, that's where all the action happens at. So if you go to an AEW show, ringside is not the tickets you need to buy. Depending on depending on the matches they have. They got a match that like a tornado tag, it's gonna lead into the crowd. Buy them tickets that's in like deep in the crowd, cause that's where the action happened at.
That's the truth. That is the truth. Fucking McMarvelous match, man. I can't praise this match enough. Tony Khan, I was giving him so much shit for the Ray Phoenix spot. But then it's like for everything wrong that he does, he hits like 3 grand slams. And it's like, I see why you give us these spots, Tony.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, that is true. Moving on to the next match, we got Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson versus the Varsity Blondes. Now, this match was good, William Regal revealing that no money nor accolades can earn a man his leadership was a nice way to lay the groundwork for what he has been looking for in the potential proteges. So, the match, it was good. It was very one-sided, though. I will say that. It was very one-sided. Going in on this match, you kind of could tell who was going to come out the outcome, who was going to come off at the top. You pretty much knew everything. I mean, it's good to kind of see them team up and go against, younger talent and stuff. But the Varsity Blondes, I feel like there's something missing with that group. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's I don't know if it's Julia Hart with them that's the odd thing, or they need somebody else. If you kind of like, I don't know if it's a manager or it's something that team needs. I would say they missing in a very important piece. I don't know if it's the person that they need with them, how John Moxley, Bryan Danielson got William Regal. I don't know if they need someone like that, but is just something missing?
It is something missing. Julia Hart's not going to be with them that much longer. Did you see her just sit on the steps? She really wasn't being their manager. She's super close to joining the House of Black.
Yeah,
I think that's probably about 2 weeks away.
Okay.
So, the match was fine. The Varsity Blondes, they're still young. They got a lot of growing to do.
That's true.
I'm not going to say they're bad because they're far from bad. They're actually very entertaining. Brian Pillman Jr., Griff Garrison. Griff Garrison alone is the type of guy that WWE will push.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a fantastic body. He's got a fantastic look about himself. I could definitely see him being one of Vince's pet projects and being a blue-eyed babyface.
Right.
But something is missing. I don't know what it is. While you were talking, I was sitting here thinking, is it a manager? Well, what type of manager would you even bring in for him?
That's the thing. I don't know. I just know it's something missing.
What did you think of the name? The Blackpool Fight Club. I liked it.
I don't know. It probably would grow on me. The Blackpool Combat Club.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The Blackpool Combat Club. I like it.
I have a feeling it's gonna grow on me though. As of right now, I'm up in the air with it. But I know eventually, like 3 weeks from now, I'm gonna be like, man, Blackpool, bro, Blackpool Combat Club, man. I know I'm gonna be like that in a couple weeks, but as of right now, I'm iffy with it. I'm like, it's up in the air.
Fair enough.
Moving on to the next segment, we got a fucking McMarvelous promo from MJF. MJF will cut a promo on Wardlow, refusing to release him from his contract and referring him as a pig, stating that he owned him. This promo was top notch. This promo was not like any other. I'm really anticipating on this match between MJF and Wardlow. I think it's going to happen on Double or Nothing. McMarvelous. MJF, he's the best on the mic in AEW. The best.
MJF promos are always S tier. I don't think I've heard a bad MJF promo. I love that he sent Wardlow home and he's going to continue to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pay you to sit at home. The question is, how do you get Wardlow back? That's the problem. Because now with him sitting at home and MJF's the one that's paying him, Tony Khan kind of has to become that on-screen presence in order to get Wardlow back. So that's what, and it's like, you can be worried, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Like I'm worried, but it's not a bad worry. I want to know how Tony Khan's going to connect the dots to give Wardlow his match against MJF. And then the question is, does Wardlow win? I think no. He should not be MJF on the first go. I don't think he should be MJF till probably the summer.
If he don't beat him, it can't be a clean win. It can't be. It would have to be interference from Shawn Spears.
You're saying he can't beat Wardlow clean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, of course not.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he should be Wardlow clean. It would have to be an interference with Shawn Spears coming in, hitting him with the chair behind a ref's back, and then that's what happens.
I like it, and you're right. I just want to see how Tony Khan's going to connect these dots.
Yeah. Moving on to the next match, we got Jay Lethal versus Adam Cole. Now, in my opinion, these two are top 5 single stars of coming out of Ring of Honor. Like, one of not only top 5, I'll say top 10 of the single stars coming out of Ring of Honor. This match was damn good. It had interference, but Adam Cole, he was the one that benefited from the interference with Red Dragon, had interfered, and he had put Jay Lethal away by hitting the boom. Now, the AEW World Champion, Hangman Page, had came out, and he had basically gave Adam Cole a whooping. What do you think about this, man?
Fucking McMarvelous match, man. AEW, when they get on a roll, they get on a roll, and it seems like they can do no wrong. The post-match angle, I loved it. Because, you know, a lot of times with Hangman, he get into the fight, but then it's always somebody else, like the Dark Order coming out to help. Mm-hmm. Nah, this was all cowboy shit. Hangman did it himself, took his belt off and started beating the shit out of Red Dragon and Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know how I feel about Adam Cole getting away with the world title. I think that's the only bad look about it, because I do hate that about champions, and even in WWE, they just put the title belt down anywhere. That's why I appreciate Roman so much, because he just hands it off to Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, they throw it down, they get to fighting, and because I've always thought that about wrestling, like, why don't you just leave with the title?
Yeah. Or if you know you're coming out to fight, why come out with it?
Right.
Yeah. I agree with that. Moving on to the next, we got Red Velvet versus Legit Layla Hirsch. This match, it was cool, it was sneaky, it was clever. What do you think about it?
Really wasn't a fan of this match. Sloppy at times. They tried their best. The finish was... I'm going to shit on the finish, and I'm going to shit on another finish on SmackDown, all the same. The camera work is shoddy. We shouldn't have seen Layla Hirsch getting the second piece of the turnbuckle. The camera should have been focused on Red Velvet getting up. Then Layla Hirsch sneaks in off camera, distracts the ref. Then you see her whip out the second one. So you're like, oh my gosh, she had a second one back there the whole time.
Yeah.
But that also goes with you when you say you got to learn how to work the cameras.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something like that, you need to position your body to where the camera won't see you doing what you need to do.
So let me ask you this. Is it her fault or is it the AEW production fault?
It's a little bit of both, because like you said, you do got to know how to work the cameras.
Okay.
You have to. And production should have been focused on Red Velvet.
Okay. Moving on to the main event, we got the Jericho Appreciation Society. They made an in-ring debut. It was Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia versus John Silver and Alex Reynolds. What do you think about this match? I'm gonna see what you think about it first before I even stake my opinion.
It was a decent main event. It wasn't the caliber of main event that I would expect from AEW. Honestly, you could have went with the Jay Lethal Adam Cole for that. That could have been the main event. That would have been a perfect way to go off the air. But I understand it's Chris Jericho. This is a new group. They didn't look that bad. You just know it's a new team. Mm-hmm. Maybe don't do Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia. Maybe do Daddy Magic Matt Menard and Cool Hand Ange. Maybe you do that. Did you notice his suspenders?
Yeah. Now, I have the same problem what I had with NXT. I just simply believe they used the wrong main event was shown. I do agree with you on that one. But some of the things I like to point out on this match, that was in Texas on this episode of Dynamite. So a lot of things was being foreshadowed. It was some calls to Eddie Guerrero and everything. Go ahead, check out the Eddie Guerrero files. Link in the description. Also, Garcia using the sharpshooter. That's a callback from 25 years to the day that Bret Hart had used it on Stone Cold to defeat him at WrestleMania. So, I like the calls, the references that they kind of did, but I just think the match was good, but I just think it was the wrong main event.
No, I can
But solid
definitely
show.
agree.
I'm giving it an 8.
I'll give it a 9. AEW's been on a roll.
Okay. Now, moving on to Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown, we had got Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Jimmy Uso. I ain't really got much to say about this. You know, of course they're gonna run one person tag and another person in the tag and run this as a singles match. They're probably gonna do the same thing next week. They probably have Rick Boogs versus Jay Uso just to go on for the go on show. It's typical. For if they have a tag team match, it's typical. If they have a tag team match set at WrestleMania, it's typical for them to do something like this. So I ain't really got much to say about it.
I ain't got much to say about it either. You know how I feel about Rick Boogs. I don't see how he's over. I think the fans are fickle.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bryan Danielson. The fans are fickle and they'll cheer at anything.
It is.
Because I don't see. Explain it to me. Help me understand. Because how you feel about Hook is how I feel about Rick Boogs, and I just do not see it. He doesn't impress me.
I don't get him either. I say Rick Boogs ain't nothing but more rock and roll style or hippie, like more hip Elias, for real.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see how he's over. And you know the sad thing is WWE's gonna push him before he's ready.
Of course.
And then he's gonna. I don't want him to fail, but 9 times out of 10 he's gonna fail.
Of course. Moving on to the next, we got Ridge Holland is in the ring. You know, Kofi Kingston came out and he surprised Butch, Ridge Holland, and Sheamus by announcing the return of the King Woods. I'm giving this an up, even though I'm tired of seeing Ridge Holland in the ring. I'm giving it an up because we got King Woods returning, and he came out with the win. He didn't get look weak.
I'm gonna give it a down off 2 things: the roll-up finish, the greatest small package ever, and 2, the ring announcer Samantha Irvin fucking it up before Kofi made the announcement.
That is true. I did notice that too. Yeah. Like certain shit. Like even when we take this couple years back, when Vince McMahon was making the announcement of the Raw new general manager, he's like, "You're a new Raw general manager, Kurt Angle," and then his music hit. I would really wish it would have been like, your new Raw general manager. He pointed at the owl, and then you heard his music hit. I hate that too when it's a return. They kind of announce who the person is before. I think the perfect way to do it was when The Rock returned. The first time when he returned to host the WrestleMania, they was like, they made the announcement, "Welcome, WWE Universe, welcome the host of WrestleMania," and then they went black, and then his music hit, and then you heard a huge ass pop. Like, I appreciate that more. That has a bigger effect more. But moving on to the next, we got Ronda Rousey. She exchanged words with Charlotte Flair. It's like every other week. I already stated what I think they should have did with this feud. Episodes after episodes after episodes. But KB, do you have anything to say about this?
I do. I got a lot to say. This was Ronda Rousey's greatest promo, and it was god fucking awful. The exchange back and forth with Charlotte Flair and her felt so cringe. You could tell it was scripted. You could tell that Ronda was forgetting some of her lines. That's my thing. Why send Ronda Rousey out there with a script?
Right, she's the baddest woman on the planet. Just let her be her.
Right.
Let her be UFC, where y'all honestly didn't like. if you call them promos when they would talk shit about their about their opponent at the press conference, I mean, if you want to call them promos, she did a phenomenal job. You know, just stating how she feel. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Just let Ronda do her.
Just let Ronda talk. She doesn't need a script. Let her go out there and say what she wants to say. Like you said, she's the baddest woman on the planet. So she's going to come on there every week and say, I'm going to break your arm. Guess what? I'm going to believe it.
Right.
But that's all.
Moving on to the next two matches I'm going to shit on. We got Angel Garza versus Ricochet. Angel Garza picked up the win. Right after this, we got Humberto Carrillo defeating Ricochet via countout. I understand that, you know, I was complaining week after week. Why are we burying? Yes, they are on TV. They are on TV. But why are they losing to the likes of other teams where you could be building up this new team? That's one. But they are on TV. I will point that out again. Two, you just gave this man Ricochet the Intercontinental Champion. Why the fuck is he losing to a tag? Why is he losing to a tag team, for one? And not only that, why is he losing back to back? He could have defeated Angel Garza, and then, you know, Humberto do what he do, and they made the match. Then Humberto could come up to win by pinfall. I mean, not pinfall, but by count out. Why the fuck y'all had him lose for both of them?
Salamander, I don't want to hear that shit. Because when I was on here weeks, months, saying champions losing on television should not be happening, you sat here and said, nah, it's okay as long as they telling the story. Well, then you get shit like this.
There ain't no story behind it.
Exactly. Which is why he ain't got a match on WrestleMania. Which is why Finn Balor ain't got a match on WrestleMania. Your two mid-card champions ain't got a match on the grandest stage of them all. You know why? Because they are okay with their mid-card champions losing. Why can't the mid-card champion get the same respect of a Roman, get the same respect of a Brock, get the same respect of a Becky, get the same respect of a Charlotte? Why do you see Brock losing? First off, Brock don't even wrestle on television. But if he did wrestle on television, is he losing? Fuck no. It's not even a discussion. Roman wrestle on TV. Is he losing? No. Charlotte? No. Becky? No. But these fucking mid-card champions can take back-to-back losses. This man Ricochet took back-to-back losses, and he called out Humberto, and he lost. Now, this is what I was going to shit on. The same way I shitted on the Layla Hirsch match, I'm going to shit on the finish of the Humberto match. Angel Garza rolled underneath the ring, and you saw it. You saw him roll underneath. I'm going to shit on the production. The camera should have been focused somewhere else. Then you should have seen Angel Garza capture Ricochet's ankle so he couldn't get back in. Yet we saw Angel Garza roll under the ring. We saw it. Like, I don't know if WWE thinks we're stupid. Like, we can only focus on the match. Like, we're not going to check the surrounding areas.
Right.
I don't know. But that was god fucking awful. Ricochet losing twice.
I agree. But I did promise y'all guys I was gonna shit on the next two matches, and I'm shitting on this shit. Sasha Banks defeated Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, and Queen Zelina in the Fatal 4-Way match. And of course, you know, WWE, we got a match coming up with the Women's Tag Team Championship. Let's just go ahead and throw all of them in there. So after this match, it became an all-out brawl. What the fuck? Shit on this shit.
I can't shit on this. I do. No, okay. I will shit on that part. Why the fuck is it a Fatal 4-Way match? And then where did they go? Did they get booted to the back? It's a Fatal 4-Way match. There are no disqualifications. Why are you sending them to the back for? That shit was perfectly legal. Then did you see Naomi try to find somebody? They gave this match a lot of time. It was just clunky.
They give it a lot of time, so that means next week it's not gonna get on time, according to the news that we're getting into. I bet you none of the women's segments, unless except for Charlotte and Ronda, Becky and Bianca, get time. They're the only two that's gonna get time next week. I bet you. Now, moving on to our last segment. Now, WWE management informed Brock Lesnar that he cannot lay his hands on the Universal Champion Roman Reigns unless he is provoked. The head of the table finally arrived in Brooklyn and came to the WWE Universe and addressed the biggest WrestleMania match of all time, which is just 1 week away. He laughed it off when he discovered that the Beast was in the parking lot using an X on his SUV windows. Roman Reigns reminded the WWE Champion that there will be no weapons at WrestleMania. Lesnar, he dropped his dangerous weapon and headed to the ring. Now, Brock Lesnar went through the crowd. Would you be scared to touch him?
Nah, it's Brock Lesnar. He's babyface. Now, heel Lesnar, yeah, I'm not touching, bro.
But Brock Lesnar, he got ringside and he was met by security guards. The Beast, he had grabbed a steel chair and he unleashed vicious beatdowns to the security, sending a message to Roman and the Bloodline as they fled. Even though Brock is not wrestling, every segment with Brock so far has been fucking good. Like, I don't know what more can you do that's gonna hype up their match more. I mean, eventually they need to get their hands on each other. So I don't know what can you do on the Go Home show for Raw. I don't know what can you do for the Go Home show for SmackDown that you haven't done already.
You do a press conference for the Go Home show of SmackDown. They can't touch, but they basically will go back and forth.
I had them touch and they had to sit next to each other.
Yes. For real, like they can't touch and they gotta sit right next to each other. And you gonna talk about it like men.
Should they do that, or should they have one right where they have a press conference basically in the ring?
I would have it in the ring.
The table, and they sitting where the hard camera is at, next to each other. And then you have Michael Cole or somebody hosting it, right? And they in the crowd. Of course, it has select people who they pick out in the crowd, but they ask the questions, and then that's when you have them answer. But they basically just throwing shots at each other, talk about how much they gonna beat each other ass, and sitting next to each other, looking at each other the whole time. And Brock Lesnar, you know, he just waiting because of that. He just waiting to be provoked. So what he's saying some off the wall shit just to get Roman to do some shit just so he can put his hands on him. But Roman beat us at his game. And he gets to the point where Roman says some shit and Brock get mad and stand up and just get to the point where he just have to walk off because he understands.
And have Roman standing tall.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But I'm going to give SmackDown, I'm going to give it a 7.
I'm going to give SmackDown a 5.
Oh, all right.
Ronda Rousey, the Humberto shit, Ricochet losing twice.
True.
I
double back. I'm gonna give it a 6. Yeah, I'm gonna double back. Yeah. And I did give it some 3 if you want to count both matches, but 2 segments, some 2 bullshit segments back to back. But moving on to AEW Rampage. To kick off the show, we got Lance Archer versus Dustin Rhodes. Dustin is 52 years old, but he look good. He's still been going in the ring, and I ain't really like, you get people who's like, who's in the ring who wrestle, like, Sting and shit like that, who's 60, who's in their 60s and shit. But and then like with him going to the table and shit like that, we be like, oh my god, like we praise that shit. But I don't think Dustin Rhodes get the respect that he deserves. This man is 52 years old and he basically wrestled nonstop. He didn't have a break, that Sting had and shit, and they came back in the ring. He actually wrestled nonstop. And he looked good in his match still to this day at being 52 years old. But what do you think about this?
I thought this was a fantastic opener to Rampage. I do agree with you about Dustin Rose, the natural. He doesn't get enough credit for how good he is at this age. He could easily be the TNT champion. Easily.
And it'll be believable. Unlike Goldberg holding the Universal Champion at 50, to be like, that's not believable.
No. But Dustin Rose, he can easily be slotted in to be a TNT champion. Easy.
Exactly. Moving on, we got the Dark Order versus Red Dragon. Now, I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. So I would really much rather hear your opinion about it. And basically on what you said will really help me decide my mixed feelings about this match.
I wasn't too impressed with this match, and it was nothing on the fault of Red Dragon. It was everything with 5 and 10. I just feel like they didn't have the right chemistry with each other, and it's really Red Dragon carried these two to the best match that they could.
All right, yes, because I was actually feeling the same way, because I was really thinking like, I don't think it was as fault of Red Dragon, but I was thinking like, bro, I don't know who is at fault. I don't think it was Red Dragon, but then I'm like, because of the Dark Order, I don't want to put blame on them either, because that's Brody Lee group, So it's like, but at least I ain't the only one who felt the same way. So you said it, I'm saying it, we rolling with it. On to the next segment. We got Nyla Rose. She was in action. I'm gonna shit on this. This was a squash match. The young lady that she faced didn't stand a chance, and shit. She squashed the shit out of her.
Not gonna lie, I looked down at my phone. I looked up. Nyla Rose had already hit the beast bomb.
It was over. That quick.
But I will say this about AEW. Even when they do squash matches, they don't do them that quick. So that was kind of like eye-opening to me. That was a WWE squash match.
It was. So it kind of make you feel like what's next? If she's just going to continue having this, like who's going to be the one that's going to lay her ass down, basically? I know.
Right. Thunder Rosa.
No. Jade Cargill. Yeah, she going to hit her with the Jaded. Lay her ass down. But moving on to the main event, we got Swerve Strickland versus Ricky Starks for the FTW Championship. Now, this match ended where Hobbs attacked Swerve while the ref had his back turned. This allowed Starks to hit his finisher for the win. Keith Lee had came out to break up the celebration with Team Taz. Now, I want to point out a couple things. One, the funny thing about it was when they were celebrating, Keith Lee came out and threw, I forgot who he threw, but he threw him through the paper and shit. That was funny. But like I tweeted you earlier today, KB, and if you haven't, follow us on Twitter. I said get Keith Lee off of this B-level show and put him on Dynamite. Now it's looking like Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland is going to team up with each other, creating a new team. I just really feel like if this all what they was going to do, even though Swerve Strickland, you really, your situation is different, but Keith Lee, you wanted to leave. If this is all y'all want to do, y'all should have stayed the fucking WWE, because this shit ain't nothing better.
Now Salamander.
Yeah, I was expecting for Keith Lee to get a huge ass. I was expecting for his ass to come in this bitch like Miro did. But no, we did. We getting the same shit that we literally got when you was on WWE.
Well, hold on,
big man. That's it. I didn't see your ass hit no bump, no backflips. I ain't see your ass hit no moonsaults, none of that shit. That's what made you Keith Lee. That's what made you limitless. I guess now because his Twitter handle is relentless. So I guess now you're not gonna be doing the flips or whatever now. But I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna be doing the same shit that you was doing in WWE, you should have stayed over there, because it's literally the same shit. They using you as a typical big dude over WWE. I guess nobody like that. You literally getting used the same way in AEW.
Well, hold on, Salamander. You got to trust the process. I believe Tony Khan has earned that much that we can trust the process. So I'm gonna say that. Second off, he just got there. What do you? Miro didn't even come in and win the TNT championship. He had the shit that he had where he was the best man. That didn't work. Then he came back as a God-fearing, loving husband. Then he got it.
No.
Give it some time.
Miro was the shit. Reason why Miro didn't take off as quickly as he did, because it seemed like everything looking for it, they was actually gonna like give him a push in, but we see that the fans wasn't connected with it. They was having trouble of finding a correct character for him. That's why I believe that Keith Lee, on the other hand, he already have his character established. Once you came out and you unzip your jacket and showed that you had no spandex, that's your character right there. Go in that bitch and hit a flip off a ladder. That's what the fuck you supposed to do. But you didn't. This whole time you've been sitting here being used the same way as a typical big man. Like, I want to see your ass hit flips. That's what make your ass limitless. That's what make you stand out different than the fucking Omars, the Commander Aziz, the Lance Archer. That's what make you stand out more than the other big dudes.
I mean, it's kind of hard to stand out amongst AEW's big guys, because even your big guys can do athletic shit. Lance Archer walks the ropes.
No, Lance Archer damn near broke his neck by doing that shit. Keith Lee stand out. If Keith Lee go out there and do Keith Lee, he will be the most standout athlete on AEW. Like, standout athlete at that and big man on AEW.
He's gonna get there. Can you give it some time?
I don't know, because
you acting like he's been in the company for a year. He ain't even been there 6 months.
Let me ask you this: if AEW signs Samoa Joe, do you wait to push him, or do you push him immediately because of who he is, his gimmick, and you know he's gonna be a badass person anyway? That is his gimmick. He gonna come in there and be a fighting machine. So do you push him or do you wait?
I will wait. I mean, because as Tony Khan has shown, everybody has their time.
With the anticipation that Keith Lee came with him being released, everybody anticipating that he gonna sign with AEW, him signing with AEW and winning the match to be in the face of the Revolution ladder match. I expected, even if he didn't win that face of the Revolution ladder match, I expected for him to capitalize more on the aftermath of that. I don't expect for his ass to be on Rampage. I don't expect for his ass to be linked up in a tag team with a former WWE star.
They're not even going to form a tag team. They're going to have a tag team match.
I don't want to see that shit. I want to see you in a singles match doing flips.
You'll get there. Can you just appreciate Keith Lee in the moment?
We'll get there in a year and a half.
That's fine. When we get there,
that's too damn long.
Tony Khan has earned our trust. Tony Khan has earned our trust. This isn't WWE. Tony Khan. Okay, if not for you, I'll say this. Guys, I love sports entertainment. And Tony Khan has earned my trust that I'm going to sit back. I'm going to wait. And in a year and a half, if Keith Lee is still doing this shit, then I'll address it. And I'll say, you're absolutely right. We need to do more with Keith Lee. But typically, the people who come in and they have that feud with Team Taz, they typically go on to do better things. Sometimes and I like Team Taz as being just the first thing to get your foot wet in AEW. Because there are a lot of good people within Team Taz. Even though you don't understand Hook, you got the absolute Ricky Starks, who me and you are both very high on. Powerhouse Hobbs, he's picking it up. He's getting there very fast. So it's not like Team Taz is just a bunch of jobbers.
I just don't want to see him team up with anybody. But you heard it from KB. Give it a year. So March of 2023, if he's still not doing flips, I'm going to say take your ass back to WWE.
There you go.
I want you to say that shit too.
If it's March of 2023 and he hasn't touched any gold and he's still working as the typical big man, I will co-sign with Salamander and I will say, Keith Lee, you should have stayed in WWE with the singlet. At least you would have been making more money.
All right. That's it for week 12. Now let's hop into this news. Now we're going to talk about the ratings. WWE Raw ratings for this past week had increased. The weekly edition of WWE Monday Night Raw saw its ratings increase. The episode had drew 1.76 million viewers on the USA Network, which is up from the 1.7 million viewers last week. The 18 to 49 demographics has saw the average rating from a 0.5 up for the 0.48 rating last week. Now, this is the highest key demo that Raw did in a month. Now, hold that thought. Let's jump into NXT ratings. The ratings for NXT are also in. The show drew a 628,000 live viewers on the USA Network, which is up for the 624,000 viewers the show did a week ago. Now, it did a 0.14 rating in the 18 to 49 demographics, and it did the same rating a week ago. Now, the 18 to 49 demographics is the same, but the viewers went up 4,000. Also, let's go ahead and get it out the way. I know KB sitting here cheesing. AEW Dynamite drew a 1.046 million viewers, which is up for the 993,000 viewers the show did a week ago. The 18 to 49 demographics had did a 0.41 rating, which is up from the 0.38 rating last week. Now, my question to you is, how do you feel about these ratings? It seemed like each show increased on the ratings this week. Now, I know y'all guys probably wondering what happened to Rampage ratings, or SmackDown ratings. Well, as of this recording, we are recording this on Saturday, so Rampage and SmackDown had literally just ran off. But as soon as the ratings get released, we will do a special news episode for that. But as of right now, how do you feel about these ratings on the show? You think it's just because of, the WrestleMania is right around the corner? I mean, that could explain for NXT and Raw, but AEW on the other hand, they don't got nothing major planned until at least May. So is this a good thing for AEW?
I think when it comes to WWE, they got the boost of WrestleMania being right around the corner. So I think that's what it is for them. AEW, it just fluctuates. Me and you, we discussed it on this podcast plenty of times. People are going to watch what they want to watch, and if they don't feel like tuning in to AEW that week, they won't tune in. Same thing with Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and NXT. If you're not going to watch it, you're not going to watch it. But as long as you're within, like I said, as long as you're within your target window, it shouldn't be a problem. So, like for AEW Dynamite, if you're within that 900,000 to 1 million, I think that's fine. You hit 1 million, that's good. Raw 1.5 to 1.8. I think that's good. SmackDown 2.1 to 2.4. I think that's good. As long as you're within your target window, I don't think it matters. It's when you drop under that target window that we got to start having a discussion.
Okay. So if Raw ever bring in 993,000, that's a problem.
Vince McMahon will have a heart attack.
Woo! Yeah. Even a 1.1, I think. I think if Raw dip anything below 1.5, it's a problem.
I say 1.4.
You think?
I think they.
I can say they can go to 1.4 for a week, but I'm talking about like a consistent, like anything below 1. They have to average at least 1.5. They average 1.4 is a wrap. Vince is letting go more people. All that. But
I agree.
Moving on to the next story. A top free agent is expected to sign with AEW / Ring of Honor. Now, Fightful Selects reported that there's several sources have indicated that the workers' plan is for Jonathan Gresham to sign with AEW Ring of Honor. He is the Ring of Honor original world champion, so I mean that's kind of obvious that he's going to end up there anyway. But is this good news for y'all? I'm pretty sure it is. So
this is excellent news. Jonathan Gresham is probably the second best pure professional wrestler behind Bryan Danielson. And can you imagine if when we get that match? Please let it be under pure wrestling rules, Ring of Honor's pure rules, and please let it be for the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Okay. What about Jonathan Gresham and Adam Cole?
I love it.
Okay. While we got AEW on topic, we might as well stay on there. The next story, Tony Khan latest signing is to be announced on AEW Dynamite. Now, it was announced that during Rampage, AEW had signed a new talent, and it will be announced on this coming episode of Dynamite this upcoming Wednesday. The person will wrestle the Bunny and the Owen Hart. This new signing will wrestle the Bunny in the Owen Hart Cup qualifier match. There's no hints to this mystery person. But I want to get several names. On the other hand, I'm thinking it's Toni Storm. Thinking could be an Ember Moon. Could be a Tegan Knox. Who do you have? Who is your guess?
I'm locking in Athena, formerly known as Ember Moon.
All right, yeah, we said it here. Me, KB, and I, we both said the same person, man. We still got AEW on topic. AEW, they in talks with former WWE star and current Ring of Honor champion. Now, Deonna Purrazzo may be the next person to join AEW. Tony Khan stated during the appearance on the Strong Style YouTube show that he is talking with Ring of Honor's women's champion Deonna Purrazzo, who is still under contract with Impact Wrestling. Now, Deonna, she is slated to do a champ versus champ challenge, where she will defend either the AAA title or the Ring of Honor title against a mystery opponent at the Impact Multiverse of Matches next Friday. Do you think she would drop the title perhaps and then, basically finish out her contract with Ring of Honor? I'm not Ring of Honor, but finish out her contract with Impact over there at AEW? Or do you think Tony Khan had, did great business with Impact, that they will be willing, she dropped the title and they would be willing for Tony Khan to buy her out her contract and then she make the jump to AEW?
Well, she doesn't have to drop any titles because those titles aren't held she's not holding an Impact title. But if I'm Tony Khan and if I'm Impact, and if Deonna Purrazzo is like, yeah, I want to step foot into AEW, if I'm Impact, I'm either agreeing to a buyout or I'm letting her go. Deonna Purrazzo has done fantastic things with Impact, but I believe she's done everything that she can do with Impact. She needs to be making that next move, and I think that next move is All Elite Wrestling, to where she can help get that women's division off the ground.
Okay, right. Moving on to the next story. Now we got WWE back on the topic. Now WWE, they make another change to the WrestleMania card. Now there was several changes that was taking place on this card. The most important change that was happened originally, WWE had AJ Styles versus Edge advertised for Sunday, but then they changed it to Saturday. And now WWE appears that it will happen back on Sunday. So now it kind of makes me feel like night 2, they kind of either don't have nothing special planned for night 2, or they want night 2 to be more special because they only have, now they got this Edge match on night 2 along with the winner take all match on night 2. Now they need one more thing, so that's probably why they moved it back to night 2. But what do you think about this before I go ahead and tell the updated card for both shows?
I mean, with as much hype as they built around this Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns match, you think you would want that to be the only for real high profile match of the night. Because I feel like you want that to be the talking point coming out of WrestleMania. That's why you're putting it night 2. So
I feel like if you're gonna break WrestleMania into 2 parts, you need to make both parts, worth my while. Don't just have me hype for night 1 and then night 2 be shitty like it was last year. That I'm only looking forward to the main event.
I mean, I know you're saying it hasn't been reported yet, but I don't think you need Edge on night 2. With Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, that's more than enough to have night 2 be more special than night 1.
Okay.
I mean, especially if we are to believe the reports that Cody's coming in completely AEW style Cody, that's going to be a huge talking point. Because that's deeper than just getting Cody. You can get Cody Rhodes, the wrestler, But if you're bringing him in completely AEW, you're getting Cody Rhodes the character,
Right.
and that's bigger than just Cody Rhodes the wrestler coming back to WWE. That's a bigger spit in the face to Tony Khan than having him debut in Jacksonville.
Right. Okay. But so far, here is the WrestleMania match card for WrestleMania for WrestleMania Night 1. This is in order. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. The Mysterios versus Miz and Logan Paul. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The SmackDown Women's Championship match. The Raw Women's Championship match. And Night 1 is ending with the KO show. So
They're running.
Yes.
Hold on. They're running both women's matches on Night 1.
Yes, I was just about to jump into that. So that shows you that I really think on Night 2 they really had something special planned for this, for one, and for two. If this is in fact indeed up to date and in order as they say, Ronda Rousey's not even main eventing. She's not even co-main event. Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair is.
So then they must have something big planned for that Becky and
it might be just it might be the swerve you said, and they gonna end us like we gonna be so upset. Ronda gonna pick up the win, of course. Becky Lynch gonna pick up the win. We gonna be so upset, and they gonna send us off Night 1, kind of happy with the KO show. With that, now here's Night 2. Night 2 has less matches. Now I got 1 or 2 theories, right? This is Night 2 in order. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Edge versus AJ Styles. The Women's Tag Team Championship match, which is a Fatal 4-Way. The Raw Tag Team Championship match, which is a triple threat. And the winner takes all match. So my theory is either one or two things. Either one, we see his less matches. So that means either Pat McAfee, Austin Theory, Edge, AJ Styles, and the winner take all matches is going 20 plus minutes. Because I really think if they're gonna do that, I really think that Pat McAfee wants to go 20 plus minutes because it's gonna be involved with Vince McMahon. And anything Vince McMahon is gonna get he's gonna get screen time. Or the second theory is that they are planning on bringing Cody Rhodes in and having him wrestle Seth Rollins on Night 2, which is why they're trying to make the room for it.
It's a smart thing to do if you're bringing him in, because because you're gonna play the music. He's not gonna come out right off top. They're gonna get the view of the fans on their feet chanting Cody. Then I say his interest was already long in AEW, and you know how those WrestleMania ramps are.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll probably see him coming up from underneath because they want the full AEW presentation. So he'll come up from underneath the stage. That'll be its own little thing. So that's about 2 minutes. I say his entrance alone will probably eat up 5 to 7. Then the Cody and Seth match will probably go 20, 25.
Yeah. Moving on to the next story, WWE, they are planning to air a 2-hour WrestleMania kickoff show on the USA Network. So, WWE, they've been doing this for a few years now. The kickoff show usually air on USA Network, and we'll watch it to try to, make people watch WrestleMania for a last minute thing. But it's supposed to happen April 2nd from 6 to 8. But ain't no damn matches, so I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. Just talk for 2 hours?
Probably. It's a lot of matches to cover, a lot of video packages to get through.
Yeah, that is true, but just think about this. You don't got Peacock or whatever, and you turn on to USA Network, like, oh, it's a Raw, or WrestleMania, or kickoffs. Like, you think it's gonna be some matches? So probably it's your last minute time to persuade as many buyers as you can. But it's gonna be people just talk about the matches, like especially a 2-hour kickoff show, a 2-hour show of motherfuckers talk about matches that we about to see anyway. The same video packages we about to see.
If you really think about it, since they're doing it on USA television, they're not even gonna be talking for a full 2 hours. They'd be talking for 1 hour 15. 45 minutes of that will probably be commercials.
That is true. That is true. That is true. But us, we gotta suffer through that shit.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We could just watch it on USA Network.
Or just tune in at 8 o'clock.
No, because I feel like they'll put something on the kickoff show. Watch them throw Finn Balor and Ricochet on the pre-shows.
Most likely. Well, I don't know because they run the Andre Giant Battle Royal on I think SmackDown.
And they're also running a United States Championship. A Intercontinental Championship match on SmackDown too.
Yeah, and they calling it WrestleMania Raw, WrestleMania SmackDown. So they're gonna be like, there go your WrestleMania moment.
There you go.
That's what they're doing. But next story of the day, we got the top star returning to Raw to set up a WrestleMania match. Now this ties into my next story as well as Omos is looking for a WrestleMania match as well. Now there's different sayings about this. As right now they're saying that it could be anybody, but it's reported by PW Insider that it's the return of the Almighty. The Almighty is supposed to return on this Monday Night Raw to set up his match between Omos at WrestleMania. He's going to fall to the Almighty. And all that building you did for Omos, for what? Just to have him fall to the Almighty. The Almighty is my guy. But it's like, you building up the star, then he gonna lose to Bobby Lashley. Then it's like, what's next for him? There's nothing next for him. What else can you do with him?
Or does he beat the Almighty?
But if he beat him, what else do Bobby Lashley do? Either way it goes, this is one of the bookings that you book yourself into a nutshell. Because either way it goes, somebody is gonna, it's gonna fall. Somebody.
I mean, you're not lying. I wouldn't have booked this match.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
had the Andre Memorial Battle Royal and just had him go Havoc and win.
That would have been the smart thing to do.
But instead, he get a singles match
against the Almighty, who can't lose.
Man, Omos can't lose. They both can't afford to lose.
Double knockout.
That's stupid. I think that's worse than somebody pinning. For real.
Double count out.
I don't know how they're gonna do this shit. Moving on to our last story. There's a spoiler. Now, several SmackDown stars are booked for Monday's Night Raw. Now, the Go Home show of Monday Night Raw is booked as WrestleMania Raw. Now, this is the Go Home show, so it's gonna be WrestleMania Raw, WrestleMania SmackDown. But top SmackDown stars are booked on this show. We are going to have an appearance of the WWE Champion Brock Lesnar and the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. They are supposed to appear on this show. We are also supposed to get a match between The Miz and Rey Mysterio. And we're supposed to get another women's segment where they put all the women who was in the tag teams match at Mania and together in a match. It's going to be Queen Zelina, Carmella, Shayna Baszler, and Natalya versus Sasha Banks, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan. Also, we're going to get the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy, ending with RK Bro versus the Usos. Do it sound like a promising go home show, or it sound like some bullshit? Because I'm thinking it's a bunch of malarkey.
It's a bunch of bullshit. And why are you giving me the Raw Tag Team Champions versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions outside of Survivor Series? Now that Survivor Series match don't mean shit because you just gave it to me because it's the go home show to WrestleMania.
It depends on who's holding the titles around that time. If I say around Survivor Series time, if the same team's holding it, then yeah, what was the point? But if the title switch, even if RK Bro still holds it, but Rick Booz and Shinsuke Nakamura hold it, and then they run that at Survivor Series, I said, cool, that's kind of different. But if it's the same teams coming around Survivor Series, then yeah, what was the fucking point? But
who loses that match?
I say nobody. I say they're gonna go off the air with them being attacked by the respected challengers for each show. I feel like it's gonna start with, the Street Profits coming in, beating up RK Bro, and then that's gonna lead to Shinsuke and Rick Boogs coming in, attacking the Usos, and then the Alpha Academy gonna come in. There's gonna be a big brawl. WWE. If you in one match, we gonna throw everybody who's in that same segment and just combine it all in one. That way we ain't got to split the two.
I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see the 8-man women's match for everybody who's gonna be involved into that tag match. And I don't want to see that shit.
I don't want to see that either.
That's horrible and shit. Like, but go ahead and leave a like on the video. Comment below what you think about this week news. Go ahead and check us out on wherever you get your podcast from. We're on all platforms. And simply need some marks, but also at the same time of being some marks, we love sports entertainment.
I started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free.